Hello there, I'm the Star Wars guy, and after what some have said is a bit of a slow start, the final story arc in Season 7 of Clone Wars has begun, and today we're breaking down perhaps the best episode of the entire season so far, and that's Episode 9, entitled Old Friends Not Forgotten. Now, if you haven't seen the episode and you're worried about spoilers, it's probably best you go ahead and turn this off now. Old Friends Not Forgotten touches on major themes like friendship and trust, and to offer a very quick episode overview, Anakin and Obi-Wan receive an urgent message from Ahsoka with a request for aid in an upcoming siege of Mandalore. All of our old favorites are back together, and notable characters in this episode include Anakin and Obi-Wan, Ahsoka Tano, Bo-Katan Kryze, and Commander Rex. Yes, that's right, Rex is no longer a captain. Anakin promotes Rex from captain to commander in order to let him lead a mission with Ahsoka so he and Obi-Wan can return to Coruscant. This episode had so many notable moments, and I'm just going to touch on a few of my favorites. Anakin and Obi-Wan's banter in the beginning of the episode, which leads to another of Anakin's daring save-the-day plans that he's known for. Ahsoka gets her lightsabers back. Now we finally learn that the reason they're blue is because Anakin has improved them. This is such a touching and powerful moment in the series, and also answers the question where her lightsabers have been this whole time. And we get a great action sequence when Ahsoka and the Mandalorians start the siege of Mandalore. This leads to a great interaction between Rex and Ahsoka.
Some things never change.
And then we see Ahsoka literally walk away from an explosion like a total badass. Another great moment is when Anakin and Obi-Wan get the call back to Coruscant. This tells us exactly where we are in the Star Wars timeline, as the attack on Coruscant they're referring to is obviously the opening sequence in Revenge of the Sith. So this episode and this arc is going to lead us directly into Revenge of the Sith, which is what most of us were thinking would happen all along. And finally, we get a very cool Darth Maul reveal at the end of the episode, which also acts as a cliffhanger. It's so great, it really leaves us in suspense as we finish up this episode and builds anticipation for the next episodes to come. Now, I made several special notes for this episode. First of all, this episode has a very different opening than most, including no moral quote, the Star Wars main theme instead of the more typical Clone Wars theme, and a red logo, which we've seen before in Season 4, Episode 22, and this symbolizes Darth Maul's return. All of this combines to make for an unsettling intro to Clone Wars and puts you completely on edge for this episode. Second, there's a fair amount of sneaky setup and exposition in this episode that is working towards putting all the pieces in place for Revenge of the Sith. The signature opening narration is set over a series of clips of the Jedi spread far across the galaxy fighting to repel the Separatists. These clips establish where some of the Jedi end up when Order 66 is executed. We see Plo Koon and Aayla Secura in similar locations to where they end up being killed. And later in the episode, we hear a reference to Shaak Ti guarding the Chancellor. This sets up the fight between Shaak Ti and Grievous, where the General wins and takes her lightsaber. Of course, she's later killed in the Temple invasion by Anakin himself. Now that will wrap up my breakdown of the 9th episode from Season 7 of Clone Wars, entitled Old Friends Not Forgotten. I'm so excited to see how the rest of this arc and season play out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe below for more Star Wars content every single day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.